I'm staring at the phone, replaying the video. It's Sarah, my Sarah, grinding on some dude at her bachelorette party in Vegas. Not just grinding, but full-on making out. A friend, Mark, sent it anonymously, titled Congrats, soon to be cuck. Charming, right? The video quality is surprisingly good. Crystal clear infidelity. I feel like I've been punched in the gut. 3 years. A house, a wedding in 2 weeks, gone. Just like that, reduced to pixels of betrayal. The worst part? It's her damn smile. The one she used to reserve just for me. What the hell do I do now? What was I even supposed to do? Tell her I knew? Revenge flickered in my mind. Smash her car, expose her to her friends, ruin the wedding. But the thought of stooping to her level felt beneath me. Yet, doing nothing? Letting her walk down the aisle, pretending everything's fine, felt equally repulsive. It's like, I am a traditional guy, but I am not a cuck. Sarah's dad, Robert, is a straight-laced, old-school kind of guy. A pillar of the community. The kind of man who still believes in honor and integrity. Exposing Sarah to him, well, that would hurt her more than anything I could physically do. And maybe, just maybe, it would prevent another guy from ending up in my shoes. Still, is that too far? Looking back, I should have seen the signs. The harmless flirtations with her personal trainer, Chad? Seriously, Chad? That I brushed off as her just being friendly. The late-night texts from work friends that she'd quickly hide when I walked into the room. The increasing number of girls' nights out, conveniently timed around sporting events I wanted to watch. I chalked it up to her needing her own space, her being a modern woman. Hell, I even encouraged it. Now, it just seems like she was testing the waters, seeing how much she could get away with. The joke's on me, I guess. Then there were the unexplained expenses. Small things at first. A new designer handbag, a spa day with the girls that conveniently cost 3 times the usual rate. Then bigger things. Unexplained withdrawals from our joint account, secretive phone calls taken outside, away from me. When I'd ask, she'd get defensive, accuse me of being controlling. It's my money too, Mark. She'd snap. I'd back down, not wanting to start a fight. Looking back, I was paying for her to cheat on me. Literally. You know that feeling when you realize you've been played? Yeah, that's where I'm at. Remember that boys' trip I let her have with her girlfriends a few months ago? Said they were going camping. Needed to reconnect with nature. Now I realize it was just a dry run for Vegas. She came back acting different, distant, moody. I tried to talk to her, but she just shut down, say she was tired. Looking back, I should have pressed her, should have demanded answers. But I didn't want to be that guy, the jealous, controlling boyfriend. Turns out, that guy was the smart one. So, yeah. Add that to the list of regrets. What a dumbass I was. I met up with Mark and David O'Malley's, nursing a whiskey that tasted like regret. Dude, I told you about that chick, Mark said. Not without a hint of, I told you so. Dave chimed in, modern women, men. They want the ring, the house, the security, but they also want to keep their options open. It's like they're collecting participation trophies in life. Brutal but honest. So what are you gonna do? Mark asked. I told them about the idea of sending the video to her dad. Dave laughed. Oh, that's cold, man. But genius. Robert will lose his shit. It was a dark kind of humor, but it helped. A little. The next morning, I woke up with a resolve I hadn't felt in a long time. I wasn't going to let her ruin my life. I copied the video onto a USB drive, wrote a short, anonymous email explaining the context, and attached the video. The subject line read, something Robert should see before the wedding. It felt cold, calculated, but also necessary. I drove to Robert's house, slipped the USB into his mailbox, and drove away. No confrontation. No drama. Just a simple act with potentially devastating consequences. No, it was out of my hands. The ball was in Robert's court. I remember when we first started dating. I was so in love, so naive. I passed up a job offer in Chicago, a real career maker, because Sarah didn't want to leave her family. I helped her pay off her student loans, even though I was saving for a down payment on a house. I always put her needs first, believing that's what you do when you're in love. Now, I just feel like a chump. All those sacrifices, all that effort, wasted on someone who clearly didn't appreciate it. It's a bitter pill to swallow, realizing you were just a stepping stone in someone else's life. Over the past year, Sarah had changed. Her Instagram became her life. Every photo meticulously curated, every caption crafted for maximum likes. She needed constant validation from strangers, craving attention like it was oxygen. The next she'd be screaming at me over some perceived slight. It was exhausting. Looking back, I was dating a completely different person than the woman I fell in love with. A manufactured version of herself. The irony is, she demanded unwavering commitment from me. I couldn't even look at another woman without her accusing me of being unfaithful. But she could have innocent male friends, guys who were clearly orbiting her, showering her with attention, and that was perfectly fine. They're just friends, Mark. You're so insecure, she'd say, rolling her eyes. It's the classic double standard, isn't it? She wanted the security of a committed relationship while simultaneously keeping her options open, ensuring she always had an escape route. Now I see it for what it was, a carefully constructed game. It hit me like a ton of bricks the other day. All those girl talks she had with her friends. The hours spent whispering and giggling, they weren't just innocent bonding sessions. They were strategy meetings, plotting sessions. They were dissecting our relationship, analyzing my weaknesses, and formulating plans to get what they wanted. I pictured them sitting around, like some kind of coven, advising each other on how to manipulate me, how to extract more money, how to keep me hooked. The thought made my skin crawl. I was played, not just by Sarah, but by her entire damn posse. I think about Ben, my buddy from college, who tried to warn me about Sarah early on. He'd met her a few times and always had this uneasy look in his eye when I mentioned her. He'd say things like, "She seems high maintenance, man." Or, "You sure she's the one, Mark?" I dismissed it as jealousy, Ben being a perpetual bachelor, but now I realize he saw something I didn't want to see. He saw the entitlement, the shallowness, the potential for heartbreak. I should have listened to him. Guys usually know. It's like a sixth sense, a built-in bullshit detector that I chose to ignore. 3 days later, Sarah called, her voice laced with panic. "Mark, my dad, he's furious. He saw something, a video." "What did you do?" I played dumb. "A video? What are you talking about?" The gaslighting began immediately. "Don't act innocent. You did this. You're trying to ruin my life." I stayed calm, detached. "Sarah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe you should ask yourself what you did to make your dad so upset." She hung up on me, screaming obscenities. No accountability, no remorse. Just anger, directed at me. It was pathetic, really. A week later, Robert called. His voice was heavy, defeated. "Mark," he said, "I saw the video. I'm deeply disappointed in Sarah. The wedding is off." He didn't elaborate, didn't ask for details. He just delivered the news, a sentence that severed 3 years of my life. I felt a strange mix of relief and sadness. Relief that I was spared a lifetime of misery, sadness for the future that would never be. "I understand, Robert," I said, my voice barely a whisper. He hung up without another word. The whispers started soon after. Friends, family, acquaintances, everyone had an opinion. Some sided with Sarah, painting me as a vindictive monster who ruined her life. Others offered awkward condolences, hinting that they always knew she wasn't right for me. Sarah, of course, played the victim card to perfection. On social media, she posted cryptic messages about heartbreak and betrayal, carefully omitting the reason for the split. She even tried to spin the narrative, claiming I was controlling and abusive, forcing her to call off the wedding. The audacity was astounding. The first few months were rough. I lost weight, couldn't sleep, and my work suffered. But slowly, I started to rebuild. I doubled down on my career, landed a promotion I'd been eyeing for years. I started investing again, diligently saving every penny. I hit the gym, focusing on my physical health. And most importantly, I started prioritizing my own happiness. I reconnected with old friends, took up new hobbies, and rediscovered the joy of being single. It wasn't easy, but with each small victory, I felt myself growing stronger, more resilient. It's funny, I used to believe in traditional gender roles, in being the provider, the protector. I thought that's what women wanted. Now, I see that those expectations can be weaponized. Sarah expected me to fulfill those roles without offering anything in return, treating me like a walking ATM and emotional punching bag. Modern relationships are a minefield. Women are encouraged to be independent and empowered. But often that translates to entitlement and a lack of accountability. They want equality when it suits them, but still expect men to foot the bill and open the doors. The double standards are insane. And the crazy part? Society often dismisses male suffering in relationships. If a woman gets cheated on, it's a tragedy, a violation. But if a man gets cheated on, it's often met with jokes, disbelief, or even blame. "What did you do to make her cheat?" they ask, as if her actions are somehow my responsibility. It's like we're not allowed to be vulnerable, to feel pain. We're expected to just suck it up, move on, and be grateful we're not whipped. It's a toxic mindset that perpetuates the cycle of abuse and allows women to get away with shitty behavior. The best part of being single again? The freedom. I dusted off my old guitar, started playing in a band again. I went on hiking trips with Mark and Dave, weekends filled with beer, bonfires, and guy talk. I spend hours tinkering with my car. Something Sarah always complained was a waste of time. I realized how much I'd sacrificed my own interests to appease her, to fit into her world. Now, I was building my own world. One filled with things I actually enjoyed. And strengthening those male friendships? Invaluable. They were the ones who truly had my back. I started reading about the red pill, about female nature, about dating strategies. It was eye-opening. I saw Sarah's behavior patterns laid out in black and white. The hypergamy, the frame control, the constant need for validation. The lack of accountability. It wasn't just Sarah, it was a pattern, a common playbook used by many women in the modern dating landscape. It's not about hating women, it's about understanding them. About seeing them for who they truly are, not who you want them to be. And most importantly, it's about protecting yourself. I started noticing how women are constantly praised for knowing their worth, regardless of their actual value. They're told they deserve the world, regardless of what they bring to the table. This constant affirmation fuels a sense of entitlement, a belief that they're somehow special and deserving of preferential treatment. And when they inevitably fail to live up to those inflated expectations, they deflect, blame, and gaslight, anything to avoid taking responsibility for their actions. It's a societal problem. A culture that encourages female narcissism and rewards bad behavior. It's darkly humorous, really. She cheated on me at her bachelorette party, a celebration of our impending marriage, and then tried to blame me for ruining her life. The mental gymnastics required to pull that off are Olympic level. And the female logic? Baffling. I did it because I was insecure, or I was drunk. It didn't mean anything. As if those excuses somehow absolve her of responsibility. It's like they live in a completely different reality. One where consequences don't exist and feelings trump facts. You almost have to laugh, or you'll just cry. I heard through the grapevine that Sarah lost her job after the wedding fell apart. Apparently, her dad was furious and pulled some strings. I also heard that she's been struggling to find a new relationship, her reputation preceding her. I didn't orchestrate any of this. But I can't say I feel sorry for her. Her actions had consequences, natural karma playing out. She thought she could cheat, lie, and manipulate her way to happiness, but life doesn't work that way. Eventually, the truth comes out, and you have to face the music. These days, I'm embracing an MGTOW mindset. I'm not swearing off women entirely, but I'm definitely prioritizing myself. I'm focusing on my career, my finances, my health, and my happiness. I'm not going to sacrifice my dreams or compromise my values for anyone. If a woman comes along who aligns with my vision and respects my boundaries, great. But I'm not actively seeking a relationship, and I'm certainly not putting myself in a position to be used, manipulated, or betrayed again. My self-respect is non-negotiable. It still stings. What happened with Sarah? The pain doesn't just disappear, but I've learned to accept it, to integrate it into my story. It's a reminder of my own naivety, my own willingness to ignore red flags. But it's also a testament to my resilience, my ability to bounce back from adversity. I sent that video to her dad, not out of malice, but out of a desperate need for justice, for some kind of accountability. And while it caused a lot of pain, it also set me free. Free to live my life on my own terms, with dignity and self-respect. And that's a peace I wouldn't trade for anything.